Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. So my desk is a mess and I'm struggling through my bookkeeping problems, but I wanted to talk about something else today. So what I just did was decluttering everything I own. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. Minimalism and... oh, let me close the window first. How decluttering has changed in my life. So my thesis here is that my goal with minimalism is to stop decluttering. And that might sound counterintuitive. I started minimalism, as many people similarly to me, because there was a change in my life. I moved from Switzerland to Germany and I felt like I had too much stuff. I wanted more clarity, I wanted more freedom, I wanted to feel lighter, I wanted to get rid of stuff that I do not use, that would be a burden to me when I moved countries. And that worked out super well, and I decluttered all of my things and I became kind of addicted to minimalism. At least I loved minimalism and followed all the tips, dove deep into that lifestyle and really identified as a minimalist for, I don't know, 6 years maybe. And minimalism was a great decision in my life. I'm so happy I decluttered everything I own and now it's getting dark. And I can really also highly recommend to everyone who feels that they have too much stuff that you consider decluttering your life, decluttering everything you own and really making sure you only keep the things that matter. And I'm also a person who thinks that it's never really done. You can't just declutter once, end up with all of your favorite things and then never declutter again, because minimalism, as I said in like a few videos back, a video called The Only Way That Minimalism Makes Sense Long Term, or similarly, something similar to that. I'm gonna link it up here for you if you want to check it out. I think minimalism has to become a habit. But while I think that you can't just declutter your life once and then be done, I also do not think that minimalism is just an endless journey of always decluttering so much stuff and, never being done, because that kind of sounds frustrating as well, right? So I'm at a point, I'm 7.5 years into minimalism, and I've decluttered everything multiple times. I think it's also important to kind of change the way I see minimalism and live minimalism again, away from decluttering all the time. Because let's be honest, after decluttering everything I own multiple times, I just don't have that much stuff anymore. After also, I think the second thing that's really important with minimalism, being super intentional with what I bring into my life, I don't accumulate a lot of junk. So there's not that much need to declutter anymore. Which brings me to my conclusion of my goal with minimalism is to stop decluttering. And that brings me to everything I've decluttered. So in the past, I've made videos about like decluttering everything I own, and I would take all of my personal possession out of where they are usually stored and go through them individually, holding each item in my hand and asking myself, do I still want to keep them? Does it spark joy, if you want to say it in Marie Kondo's words? is this something that adds value to my life? And I think this is a great method if you're like in the midst of decluttering, if you are trying to own less, if you still have too much and you try to kind of pare it down to the things that are important to you. But for me, these are the things that I've actually asked myself a lot during the past few months or even years if I want to declutter them. So for me, I just had to go and grab these things because I already knew what they are. So let me kind of walk through them and also show you how decluttering looks in my life now. So this is a stick I brought back from Norway last summer. We went there and I found it and I thought it's beautiful. But I had it and I did not use it for anything. I just don't think it has a place in my life. And I mean, it's a nice stick, but I don't have to own it. It can be nice, I can remember it, I can appreciate nature's beauty without owning the stick. So I'm most likely just gonna throw it out into nature again. You know, I knew that when I picked it up in Norway, that I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. So I could potentially just have left it there, but I think it's also okay to take it with me, have it for a little bit, maybe think of something that I want to do with it, and then decide to let it go again. That's what I'm doing now. Then this here, it's a bit sad that I'm parting with it. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I love this brand. It's the brand that makes my backpack, and I've had this for almost 3 years now, I think in the summer of 2020. No, it must be 2 years. I've had it for 2 years now, and to be honest, I've just used it twice, maybe 3 times. And I really thought it's something I'm gonna use a lot. But I think that's the other thing. Even though I'm an experienced minimalist, it always happens that either we misjudge something or ourselves or our lifestyle, or it happens that our life changes. So even though I say I want to stop decluttering, that doesn't mean that I'm never going to declutter anything again. It of course still happens that from time to time I do have an item that I realize it would be better to declutter. It would be better if someone else could use it. When I keep this, it's just not going to be used and just taking up space. Do you think it would be a great thing if I gave it away as a giveaway? I could do that if you're interested in that. And then the next thing is a t-shirt I knitted last spring. And actually, to be honest, when I knitted already, I was a bit disappointed that it did not turn out longer, because I ran out of yarn and I thought it would be enough to make a longer t-shirt, but it wasn't. And then I didn't wear it a lot during the last summer. I realized I can't really wear it in winter because it's too bulky to wear a sweater on top of it. And then this spring, I wanted to wear it again. I actually forgot about it during winter, which is crazy because that hasn't happened to me in a long time. And now it's getting even brighter. But then a few days ago when I wore it again, I realized I really hate the feeling of having so much air around my tummy and back here. And there's a second thing. I had cancer as a kid. I only have one kidney, and my mom used to tell me always please take care of your kidney, make sure it's warm. And as a teenager I was yeah, whatever. But during the past few years, I don't know if that played into it maybe, but I just hate the feeling of bare skin around my lower torso and back. I don't like being cold there. And so if it's for my kidney, just for my well-being overall, or because it's not such a versatile piece, I'm gonna let go of this. Because being intentional is never, you're never perfect. You can't ever know completely. And then this is another product by Wakes, and I'm kind of sad to let it go. It's just what makes the most sense in my life. I bought this backpack because of this cube, because of its versatility, because you can attach it to the bottom of my backpack and put camera stuff in there. But it was in early 2020, and then later in 2020 I changed my camera system, and now I don't have that much camera gear anymore, and I don't need this space. So I now pack even more minimally, and I realized that this is just kind of obsolete. It's also a product that I haven't used a lot. It's great quality. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing brand. It's an amazing product, but I just haven't used it. And so I'd rather give it to someone else. For this one, I'm thinking about selling it. And actually, like if you were interested in the cube, and I also have like the hip strap here, and I have like the straps for the backpack if you don't use the huge straps. I also have like this to attach to the back of your backpack, and I have like the camera inlet and the divider. So there's a whole package of things. So if you buy this, you kind of just miss the backpack. And coincidentally, a subscriber actually wrote me that she has the backpack and it doesn't work in her life, so she's selling that. So it would be a possibility, you know. You can write me on Instagram if you wanted to have this backpack or want to buy it secondhand from her and this part from me, then we can maybe figure something out. Yeah, this is like, as I said, it's an amazing product, and I maybe gonna like link you wakes down below, but these few things are everything I want to declutter from my life. And I want to show you something else, because I think in the past I used to declutter everything that's not 100% right. So I used to have this rule of only having 3 sweaters. And so if a new sweater would come into my life, I would declutter my least favorite sweater, even if I still really, really liked all 4 sweaters that I had. And now I kind of changed my mindset, because I don't have the goal to be an extreme minimalist anymore, because I don't have the goal to always own the least amount of things possible, because I allowed myself to have a few more sweaters and other things, that I do not necessarily need to declutter something as soon as I don't use it like once a week. And another thing that I did, like I now have about 10 sweaters, and I absolutely don't need 10 sweaters, but I like to have 10 sweaters, and it does work out and it doesn't take up so much space, is that I decided, because I did not love the sweater anymore that was made out of this yarn previously, that I open it up and knit a new one out of it. This is how far I've come so far. You know, it's a turtleneck and the beginning of like a raglan sweater. I'm going to divide it here, and it's going to be arms and a body. But we're not there yet. I need to knit more. And so that's kind of also the other thing, repurposing resources, doing something else with it, using stuff for something else, instead of always just like, if it doesn't fit 100%, declutter it. So there are many ways to deal with situations like these, and there's no like right or wrong, but I think all of us have to kind of figure out which way works best, considering our values, which for me are minimalism, intentional consumption, but also trying to be really sustainable. And when I try to be sustainable, it's often the most sustainable option to keep something if I'm gonna use it a lot. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it was understandable and it makes sense. So the gist of it is really that I think at my point in minimalism, it's the best option to kind of fade out decluttering and try to be intentional enough with the things that come into my life, so that I can keep the decluttering to a minimum. That also, let's be honest, makes my life so much easier, because it means there's not that much decluttered stuff I have to take care of. Because if you've been decluttering for some time, I'm sure you also get this feeling of like, yes, it's amazing to declutter everything, but then you have this decluttered stuff, and if you want to declutter it responsibly, it's kind of hard to know where to bring it. It's hard to make sure that someone is actually using it, and therefore I try to use up things myself, and have the number of decluttered items that I have to find a new home for small, without keeping stuff I don't want to keep, obviously. now, so my computer didn't even turn on while I was cleaning up my desk. But with that said, with a bit more of a clean desk, I'm now going to try to attempt more of my bookkeeping problem, because that's not any fun to show you. And there's a lot of work to do. I think I'm gonna end this video here. I actually wanted to end it while doing something really fun and saying, like, when you're done decluttering, like, life after decluttering is also being able to do all of these fun things. And that's definitely true, but right now I just need to deal with my computer and do the bookkeeping. Thank you so much for watching. I am gonna link you a video here that I would love if you check out, and thank you to all of you who are supporting me on Patreon, to all of you who are supporting me with super thanks, and to all of you who watched the video until the end. That all helps a lot, means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Goodbye.